Hey guys, this is Juan, and this is going to be a video article on DE Dust 2 about the Catwalk Rush. This is obviously going to be my first ever video article, and let me go and describe a little bit about what you'll be able to expect from these. Um, well, first off, that these are really meant to go into in-depth discussions about a particular tip or technique or strat or whatever. Really go in depth into that because I think in commentaries that there's so much going on, so much happening that I really can't just sit there and dissect one particular idea, that I have to really keep up with the action. And like I said, I can't really check it out from all angles, and that's the whole goal of this video article. Instead of rather there's just a plain article, I think these types of techniques is really a lot better explained with actual showing you rather than words. I think it's a lot more difficult to kind of explain to you what I mean in just word format. So I think the whole goal of these video articles, like I said, is just to show a particular technique, something that I really can't show in words, and something that I don't have enough time for in a commentary to really go in depth. And like I said, this is going to be, this first one is going to be on rushing Catwalk. So let me go ahead and get started, and really we'll talk about the whole idea of a Catwalk rush. And I'm just going to kind of show you really the benefits first of rushing Catwalk. And what I mean by rushing Catwalk is by taking pretty much the fastest route there. And I don't mean the whole team rushing Catwalk. I mean just one or two guys, maybe three at the most. But I think in most cases one or two, like I said. And what I mean is you drop down this little canal right here, and you take the fastest route to Catwalk here. And I'm going to go in depth into the kind of the nade patterns I like to use when I'm doing this Catwalk rush. But yeah, the benefits really of rushing Catwalk like this is it allows you to get into the site very quickly, a lot of times uncontested, because a lot of times what happens is that counter-terrorist teams, they'll set up and they'll go two towards long right away, and nobody will cover Cat. They'll give up Cat early in the round. So this is something that really works well against those types of setups. And another thing about this is that when you get up Catwalk here, if you're not uncontested, if they're not playing the setup I just described, it's still beneficial to you because you're going to draw a lot of attention. If they see that you drop and you rush Catwalk, you're up here, you're throwing flashes, and you're kind of in this area, you're going to draw a lot of attention to you. So even if you don't get up into the site uncontested, it's still going to benefit the whole team because it's going to put a lot of pressure on you on Catwalk, and it's going to take a lot of pressure off the rest of the map, so that it'll be easier to take places like middle, B, and long. Pretty much, everywhere else except for Catwalk. So let me go ahead and start out and kind of show how I like to do this. And now, obviously, you want to be rushing with an AK, and you also need to have cover because when you drop down like this, you're making yourself exposed to the mid picker, like an AWP just shooting at this crack right here. So you need a guy. I'll go into depth later about this, but you need at least an AWP, maybe two AWPers covering you. But anyhow, let me show my pattern here. First off, what I like to tend to do if I'm solo rushing the Catwalk here. Usually I like to do it when I have a spawn like this, right like here, or something close. I mean, obviously you don't want to do it from when you have a B spawn. In most cases, you want to be really close to this kind of rail right here. Jump down on this rail, and right when I'm here, I like to throw a smoke grenade off this door so it lands right in this crack right here. So by the time I'm pretty much halfway up Catwalk, it'll give me a little bit more cover by having that smoke off. I don't think I'll need my smoke later in the round, so I really like to throw my smoke pretty much as soon as I drop down here. So I start off, I drop down here, I'm going to throw it again for example, and then I come here. Then when I get to about this point, I like throwing a flash in that crack here because I think by this time two players would have crossed, and when I get to this point, this is the point where usually a guy will peek me if they plan on peeking middle with an AWP. So what I do here is when I drop down here, right when I get to this point, I flash in the crack here. So I go smoke, throw smoke like that, and then I throw a flash right in the crack, and then I move towards the Catwalk. Now that flash, it's going to land right here. So by the time I'm getting up Catwalk, if there's an AWPer posted up right here, that flash is going to pop just as I pretty much turn this corner onto the Catwalk. Just as that angle opens up to me, that flash is going to pop when I'm about right here, so that I can run up Catwalk, and the guy who's normally picking this Catwalk from like an angle that I'm pointing at right now is going to be blind for enough time for me and maybe another guy to get up Catwalk. So again, let me go through this one more time. I smoke, I flash as soon as I get to this point here. Then I get up right here, you know, and that's going to blind me a couple times. You know, it's just going to be a flicker, though. You know, it's not a big deal, and I don't need to be, you know, I know where I'm going, so I don't need to be, you know, fully, I mean, I can be blind a little bit and still get up catwalk fine. So I get up to this corner. I actually I have one flash left, and this is where it differs a lot of the time, depending on the team that we're playing. Now, if the team tends to play guys on catwalk early round, I will generally use my flash to just bank off this wall right here to help me clear up into the catwalk area. So a lot of times if they take the slow route to cap, meaning they don't quick boost, that flash is going to get them. They're going to get stuck behind this barrel, and I can run up and get a free kill. So if a team's playing cat, obviously I want to use my flash here. But I think a lot of the times when I do this kind of rush is when teams aren't playing cat at all. When they're, you know, that's a good time to use this catwalk rush. And if that's the case, if I'm very confident that they're not going to be playing cat, and I mean I have to be very confident. You know, if a team randomly switches setups, you know, I wouldn't be nearly as confident. So I want to use this flash. But you know, if I don't think they're going to be playing on cat, I just throw my flash over towards what I call game helper, but it's, you know, car right here, and it's gonna blind an opper that's like right here helping long. And a lot of times, very often, there's gonna be a guy here, or he'll be like rotating back from long early in the round, and he'll be going towards the rail here. Either way, that flash is gonna get him, you know, for a good 3 or 4 seconds in most cases. So it'll help me get up past this kind of elbow area and into the site here. But that's if I'm taking it solo. If I'm taking it with another guy, say I'm the lead man, I'm gonna flash this 100% of the time if I'm the lead man. If I'm the second man here, say we have 2 guys coming up, the second guy is obviously gonna have 2 flashes left. So in that case, you know, he's gonna come up here, he's gonna flash this, the lead guy's gonna flash close, and then the second guy's gonna come up here, just probably throw a flash in this area right here and run up here, because again, that's gonna flash guys rotating back from long, and we're gonna be able to get in the site here and just, you know, plow down guys rotating back here. They're gonna be blind. We're gonna have 2 AKs posted up right here, and at this point, I'll go into a bit detail later, but you know, if you're pinching from A, they're in a very difficult position to hold the A site here. So anyhow, that's the nade pattern I use. Let me kind of go over now a little bit of the options that I have when I get up cat. Now, you don't necessarily always have to rush into the site. Like I said before, if you can get up cat, that's not always, you know, and if they're putting a lot of attention to you, that's fine. You don't want to force going into the site all the time, but you know, going in draws a lot of attention. So like I said, you have a lot of options. So when you get up cat here, obviously, you know, if you're doing like a pinch strat, you want to pretty much try to take into the site, maybe with another guy. You guys go up here and you guys commit into the site. Meanwhile, once you kind of get up to this point, you know, I'm the strat caller, so I obviously try to coordinate this, but I tell my guys early in the round, outside of long, they just want to sit there. They want to flash early but not go out, because they're really trying to hold the guys at long so that myself and anybody else who's going up catwalk can get up catwalk without the long guys rotating back. So they flash up long, then they just wait. My long teammates, they just wait for us to get up to cat. And then once we get up cat, once we get up to this point, you know, I want to tell them, okay, guys, come now, because the whole goal is to just time this well and pinch on the guys. So then our guys start coming out long or whatever. You know, so if we're doing an A pinch, you obviously want to take into the site from catwalk. But another option that you have, obviously, you know, if every time you rush cat, it means you're going A, you're going to become very easy to read. They're going to be able to over-rotate. So a lot of times when you're rushing cat like this, you don't always want to go up. Like I said, you have other options here. You come up here. Say let's say you're doing a B strat, okay? And you're the only guy rushing up here. You know, one option that you could do here is just flash up here. Obviously, you're throwing a pretty good fake, and then you just flash the guy at rail and car right here, and you can just drop in a spawn here. You know, pretty easily get in here, and I do this a lot, and it's really, you know, it's not very difficult because the guys are going to be blind, and if they're giving up cat, you know, you can drop down here and usually get a guy on the free kill on the guy in the middle, just not looking at you, and then you can flank into B, and it's going to make it much easier for your teammates to take into B, as well as it holds off rotate. So, you know, that's a good option if you're doing a B strat. Now, another option that you could do is if you're doing like a B and a mid split, and you have one guy rushing up cat, again, he goes up here, he throws somewhat of a fake, and then he can just sit right here. Okay, so you guys, you have your teammates coming out middle. Say they're rushing out middle, very quickly. They come out here and then they're going up to B. Well, you know, one problem with this is they're pretty vulnerable to guys at long A just opping. Say, you know, and this is a very common thing to do early in the round, is just have an opper post up right here looking towards middle. So one thing you can do as a cat rusher to beat that is, once you get up here, you know, obviously you throw flashes and then just get right here and cover your mid guys, so that the opper, or push this guy back so that your mid guys can safely get into B, and again make it much easier for the split to take place and pinch on the site, so it's difficult for the B guys to hold. So that's obviously a good option. Otherwise, you know, another thing that you could do is just come back here, throw a little bit of a fake. If you've done this multiple times on other rounds and they're expecting you to go in the site or expecting to hold, just come back and then, you know, obviously you want to see if you flank long if nobody's watching that, and then you come out mid and you know, and you can go with your other teammates here, and come out here and just try to get any rotation kills, you know, any flanks on the guys at the door. So really, like I said, you have a lot of options, you know, and you don't want to stick to just one thing, because you become very easy to read. So that's pretty much it for the AK part of the strat, you know, when you're rushing up cat. But I think this is a very important thing too. When you obviously have to have a person covering you when you're taking up cat, and usually in most cases I'd say you want to have 2 ups, so you can pretty much ensure at least a trade. Sometimes, you know, a pick on mid, because aggressive teams are going to pick this a lot of times, especially when they see you running cat. And one thing to mention here is that, you know, this strat doesn't always work, because, you know, some teams are very good at defending against it, and I am going to show some ways of defending against it. And, you know, if a team's doing well, they're spotting middle and they're nading you going up cat, you know, don't force it. You know, it's a good idea to use against teams that don't adapt. So back to this, you know, when you're covering as an opper, the important thing here is to cover your teammate rushing down middle. Okay, when you're covering with an op, your goal isn't to shoot the guy crossing. Okay, you're not trying to get a pick on guys crossing, you know, like you normally would, or, you know, you're not trying to get guys that jump across here. Your goal is to cover anybody that, you know, kill anybody that tries to kill your mid picker. So you want to just get right here and post up on anybody in the crack. You know, don't shoot people that cross. Don't waste your shot there. Shoot only people that stop in that crack, okay? So that, you know, if they kill him, you can at least get a trade on it. Or, you know, if you're faster than him, you're going to get a kill on him, and it's going to be 4 versus 5, your guys' advantage. You're going to have a guy up catwalk, and, you know, their rotations are going to be very slow, because they're going to be 2 at B and, you know, 2 towards long. So yeah, you know, just, you know, concluding this is that you need to cover your mid guy. That's your only concern here. You're not trying to get, you know, picks on crosses. You're trying to cover this. Okay. So one last thing that I want to cover is how to defend against this, because, you know, it's become more of a common thing, but I think some teams don't do it all that well. But either way, you need to learn how to cover it. So the first thing that you need to know on, you know, as a CT is that when you're jumping across here, if you're the B player, you're responsible to see if a guy dropped down on this you know, this fast rush, that little dark area. You're responsible for spotting that. Every round when you cross, you need to see if a guy has gone up this way. So, you know, you have 2 guys crossing towards B pretty much every round, at the minimum. And, you know, each guy has to be responsible for spotting that for your A players, okay? If you guys, you know, are lazy, if you don't spot it for your teammates, you know, if you just look like this, you know, it can easily get your guys killed today. So you need to go like this. You need to spot if there's fast cat, and you need to tell your teammates that they're coming at fast cat. One other thing to mention here is that I did smoke the cross. You know, I think this pretty much at a high level you have to do this, because you're just going to lose to guys too often. You know, oppers are just getting too good at picking that. So you need to smoke this cross. You know, even then, you're not. If you do it right as you freeze time. In fact, I'm gonna show you quick exactly how I do it. Now this is obviously a terrible spawn to do it, but you want to do it, you know, just get in between this area. That actually wasn't a very good one, but anyhow, I'm gonna cross here, you know, and I can still get into B in time as long as I get in this door pre-flash or whatever, and then send another guy through window. But that's beside the point here. We're gonna go back to how to defend against the catwalk. So obviously you wanna spot, okay? Now, you usually send 2 guys towards B. Sometimes you'll have another guy towards middle. Okay, now if the team is really rushing catwalk and really putting a lot of pressure in middle early round, you want to send 2 towards B and hang 1 around in middle, okay? Now, this middle guy, you know, if they spot the quick cat, just, you know, pre-nade this. You know, another option is flash in here, you know, and just quick peek this. You know, quick peek, see if a guy is at green box. Obviously, you want to be aware of an opper and spawn. So you don't want to, you know, just sit in the middle here and you know, have an opper pick you. But, you know, be careful about how you peek this. You can usually get a headshot on a guy close cat like this if he doesn't do his flashes correctly. Now, if you do it the way that I mentioned earlier, that flash is going to land right here on a guy. Guy playing this is going to, just get fully blind. So, in that case, you just want to nade, get back, and then rotate up here, and just start countering flashes so that, it delays guys so you can get your rotate, get into position, maybe get here on rail. So the mid guy plays a very important role here. Now another thing against defending against this is you could probably quick boost the cat here. Now if you quick boost obviously up this cat, you're gonna get here. You're gonna get to about this point by the time the guy's about where my crosshair is. He's gonna be about right there. So first of all, you still have to rely on the quick cat call. Every round there's no excuse for your B crossers not to be spotting that. So even if you boost quick cat, you should still pre-flash. Oh, I'm sorry, that was a terrible flash. But you should still pre-flash if they spot it. Okay. Now if they spot it and they don't see anything quick cat, you don't have to waste a flash here. You can save it for later in the rounds, especially because your flash on Catwalker is so important for it to hold it if you're playing on it. But if they spot the fast cat here, and you get quick boosted and you can flash, you can usually get a guy completely blind. He'll usually be in this corner, or he'll have to drop back here. Either way, you pretty much defend against the rush with just a simple boost and a flash. So if a team's doing that against you, this is a very good counter. Now, like I said on the terrorist side, if a team's doing a good job of defending against it, don't force it, don't run it. And this is obviously a good way to defend against it, is by quick boosting up and playing on here. Another thing is if you're not playing on the catwalk, meaning if you're not playing aggressive, you don't on the cat, if you don't quick boost it, meaning you're playing like too long early round, I think you have to pretty much be playing 3 towards A. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to immediately play 3 towards A, but as soon as you get a call that one's fast cat, or one's up the catwalk, or if you spot it, you can try to flash to delay him, and then you have to get to the rail. You have to get 3 towards A, because let me explain. If you have 2 at A, meaning the mid rotator doesn't get there in time, you have a guy solo playing long and a guy solo playing on cat, and way more often than not you're not going to be able to hold that, because even if you do get a trade, which is usually pretty good as a CT, if you killed one, it's still not good enough, because the guys are just going to pinch the rest of the way, kill your other teammate, and worst case scenario for them, they're going to have a 3 versus 3. They're going to have trades. So obviously you need to be playing 3 towards A so that you can get better than trades, because when you're playing solo spots, if you're playing solo rail, solo long, or solo cat, solo long, you have to get more than trades. Otherwise they're going to be able to take the site and kill the other guys. So yeah, I mean it goes without saying you have to play 3 towards A. So that's going to be it for this video article. And I asked that you guys please give me feedback, because this is my first one. I'd like to see if there's anything in particular you guys would like to have covered, as well as just give me opinions on, did you like this, was this helpful, if you'd like to see more and whatnot. So well, that's going to be it, and I look forward to doing the next one.